joined now by Thomas Barrows, who was sailing for the United States Virgin Islands at the Beijing Olympics in Qingdao. And what did that experience mean for you? It was a very good performance for you.
It was a really great experience. It was a great honor to represent the Virgin Islands. It's something I've always taken pride in, coming from there, and feels like it shaped my life in a lot of ways. So it was great to actually give back to the community that supported me and been behind me for quite some years in my sailing career. So and then getting to go to the Olympics and not only competing but seeing all the other athletes in other competitions and seeing that type of level and professionalism was really neat to witness firsthand.
You started at age 7 and have stayed in it and got to fulfill the ultimate, which is going to the Olympics. What has that been like in the sport?
It's been a goal of mine since I first started getting competitive and competing internationally, which was about when I was 11. So it was a bit of a surprise though, because we didn't have an Olympic trials, but the way I got to go for the Virgin Islands was I got a wild card spot at the last second this summer. So it was a different feeling in that way, because my goal has been to go to the Olympics in London in 2012, and my main focus over the past 2 years has been on college sailing. So getting to go at the last minute was truly, I sort of took it as more like a learning experience, because it definitely wasn't quite I wasn't in medal contention, but I definitely felt as though I could do pretty well and learn a lot to take over to 2012.
Were you able to work with Stu at all, who we just heard from, and share some stories, share some experiences?
Well, Stu was actually, sailing took place at different times, so I was sort of like building up to the event when Stu started competing. But it was definitely nice having a familiar face in the dining hall and cafeteria and just around the Olympic Village, because I was the only sailor from the Virgin Islands, so it was nice to have that type of friendship and familiar faces around the village.
Let's talk Yale sailing a little bit. And you've been one of the top sailors at Yale the past 2 years, and you're class of 2010, so more ahead of you. And as you said, you'd been concentrating on that as the Olympics were a surprise. But what does it mean to you to be a Yale sailor?
It means a lot. The Yale sailing team has a pretty rich tradition in the sailing world. We've had a ton of alumni who have not only done very well in sailing, but contributed a lot to the sport. And it's been pretty neat sort of being around that sort of scene and seeing that type of involvement and success that you can carry on in the sport, even when you're done with college sailing. But it's before coming to college, I played high school sports, but competing at the varsity level and practicing every week has been taught me a lot about teamwork, and it's really been a lot of fun. It's definitely built like really close friendships so far.
You certainly had to travel to a lot of cool places too. It's a lot of travel for just the intercollegiate athletics.
Yeah, I mean, we're traveling every weekend. Sometimes we're going really close to, in the state of Connecticut, to Coast Guard, which is in New London, but other times we're going to Annapolis. Last year we had our national championships in single-handed in Seattle, Washington in November. So it's been great being able to travel. It's definitely fun to see other places in the country.
You have anything? Now that you said you were focused on London, and now that you've done Beijing, is London still a goal? And what are some of your other goals to accomplish in the years to come?
London's definitely being able to see other people win medals and just be able to participate in that level of competition was probably the most fun I've ever had. I mean, the competition level is incredibly high. It's like, can't really compare it to anything else. And it was truly that's sort of why you do the sport you want to be fun if you won every race. So definitely has me I'm definitely going to try harder to qualify for 2012 and hopefully win a medal.
And last question before we let you go and enjoy a nice dinner here at Mory's, and that is, how do you get from the Virgin Islands to Yale?
Well, I had a good college counselor that he definitely set my sights pretty high, but also our head coach Zach Leonard actually lived in the Virgin Islands for a couple months, and he'll never admit this because he coached Optimus, which is generally a 15 and under class, and it was his first time doing it, and I made that connection with him, and he actually left from there to coach at Yale. So I always had that connection, and he always helped, even in junior sailing. He was a good contact to have in terms of guiding me what regattas to compete in, what boats to sail, what class I would be most competitive in, and when it came time when I was looking at colleges, he invited me to come up and see Yale, and I fell in love with it and really wanted to come here, and helped me out with that.
I'd say it's worked out pretty well. Thanks, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, that's Thomas Barrows, Yale Sailing.